Alrighty. Let's see if third time's the charm. Yeah, Rob, we got the last 48 boxes to do. It's 7 p.m. for me. Gonna attempt to do this all before midnight. Maybe we'll open some Japanese language Mistveil if we hit the serialize. It's always cracking time here. Hope everyone's well. Buckle up. We're speed running it again because commons are boring. But you guys will keep me company, so good pull off rip, yeah. We don't mind, but see how quickly I went past it? It's just not what I'm looking for. I want a Marvel Levio, I want a Cold Foil Larder Soul, and a serializer artist proof. That's it. We will not be happy without those things. I also spent the better part of yesterday sorting the last 48 boxes, so yeah, I'm streaming at a very different time today. It's 7 p.m. I think the last couple of streams have been like 7 hours ago for me, but it just depends when I have time. I gotta like have a 4-hour block to stream and then tidy up. So tonight it's stream, tidy up, bed. Hey Harrow. But hey, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see if we can hit one of these elusive super rare cards. Although we have in the Majestics a ton of them already sold as soon as I put them up. There's clearly a demand for some Dusk Till Dawn cards out there, so I don't know why I even bother sleeving these and putting them in stock. I think I have 50 foil Murloc Hills. Morlock, not Murloc, sorry. Unless they make PvE, and they make PvE specifically with Mentors, that card is never going to see play. Though, to be fair, I think... Is it Minerva? No, it's Howler that's the good one, right? I can't remember. Guys, please hit the like button if you're here. If you're watching the VOD or you're live... Hey, Dead Summer. Good to see you in here. We'll be streaming Australian Nationals. If you're an Aussie coming to Nationals, you can order cards and pick them up there. Just use the code pickup on checkout. So it's exactly 48 boxes again. It'll bring us to 96 total for Dusk Till Dawn. I also have 7 cases of Mistveil, Japanese language. I don't rate it. I don't think the Japanese cards are going to have any extra value, but it's just 7 cases, so at some point we'll add that to the stream as well. Unlikely to be tonight, don't get your hopes up, but it's coming. Dead Summer, I can nearly guarantee you we will not see them all. Second, look at that, double up. And then double up on the Warmonger early. Reason is, I'll show you why. The serialized card, I imagine, is on the back there. I think not everyone knew that. I'll sometimes miss like a Dance of Darkness. Cold for, like a common cold for, I should say. And I'll find it in my bulk. I feel like maybe some of the serialized cards, also like some of the hero cards got missed because they look like the young art. So I think there's a bunch sitting in people's bulk or in the bin. And second, I think there's also a bunch of stock that hasn't been opened. Like that's the Rudy effect, I think. There's plenty of boxes in people's cupboards, closets, basements not being opened. Ram culture demacal. Am I feeling my hair loss? It's not really a feeling, man. It's been cold, so I haven't bothered shaving for a week. Keep my head warm. But as soon as I have to go outdoors, you bet I'll shave. Hey, we have something good. Figment of Rebirth Marvel. I don't think we hit this one last stream, so it's a good addition. Are you treating? I don't know why I read that as are you feeling? No, I'm not. This is just how my hair grows. Yeah, it's just thin. There's still some hair there. That's how bad my eyesight is, though. I thought you said feeling. But yeah, it really sucks being bald when it's cold. I'm 37 in a couple of weeks, Rob. Don't know what to do for it yet. I'll be, what's it called? I'll be at Australian Nats 2 days before my birthday. But then who knows? I don't think I'll do much. Maybe just dinner with family. Hey, lost in thought, foily. I've got to work out these sleeves. I feel like I'm gonna knock my. Look, I'll show you guys actually, so you can be jealous. My water bottle has a yet to be released foil Flukenbox sticker on it. Coming to a store near you. Hey, bros. So yeah, I want to try and just smash through this. Minimum spend to get the sticker. I don't even know what we're gonna do with them. I think I might just make them 99 cents on the shop and people can just buy one. I don't know, it's 99 cents. Would you buy a sticker? Or would you rather see them thrown in for free in orders? I'll tell you what though, if you're coming to Nationals, you're probably gonna get a sticker for free when you come to the booth. So, come grab some. I will have them in Brisbane. Cold foil refractor. A night walk. Oh, that's a banneret. This set surprisingly isn't too hard to sort. Opinion on the heroes? Look, I don't know whether we should be excited about 2 wizards and 2 rune blades coming into the game. I think it's going to make some heroes completely unplayable again. Also, anything with wizard support is going to potentially buff Kano, which is already a very not fun hero to play into in general. So, but the art direction looks insane. Thematically, I'm very excited to see what they do because, you know, Earth Wizard, Lightning Wizard, like that's gonna be sick, right? And Rune Blades, very, very cool. I think maybe they kept them low for this long because they had such a, like, they had their heyday for so long, you know what I mean? So maybe they're just conscious of, like, you know, Chain and Viserai and Briarveld. Actually, this hasn't, sorry, but it has in Blitz and was very good in CC for a while. So maybe that's how they looked at it and went, oh, it's had its moment, let's keep it. Let's give people a break. But also I feel like maybe it takes a while to redesign. Because remember, Fab 2.0, they, not 2.0, but just in general, they wanted to steer away from heroes that have a lot of access to go again on the hero ability or weapon for that matter. So maybe it took some time to redesign. So we had 5 Rainbow Foil Diadic Carapaces in the last break. Let me see how I can tidy this up so you guys can see everything. It's a great card to be hitting a lot of, so let's see if this is also clumped. But look, this is what I don't like to see. 3 of them already. I'd rather Warmongers, you know. But it's early days, we're on box 3? Yeah, box 3. Thanks, Foo. Do we know what slot the serialized card sits in? I can nearly guarantee you it's in this, the second to last, right after the foil. Because that's where every insert card is. It'd be very strange if it wasn't. Dead Summer, good question. I literally looked at this yesterday and I literally thought I should make a video about that. But since you ask, I'll tell you. The number 1 card will come as a shock to everyone. Actually, Glistening Steelblade. I think it's because we bought so many sealed classic battles, and because we can't sell them sealed, we open them. Right after that is Red Sink Below, which I think is the global standard card that you cannot keep stocked. And I mentioned this in a previous stream. I don't think it's because people can't get their hands on 3. I think it's a staple that's cheap enough that people have 9 and 12 ofs that they put into their decks, like different decks. So I think there's a lot of people out there with many copies of. The 3rd is not Fate Foreseen. I believe the 3rd is Command and Conquer. And then it becomes like a little bit wacky. For a while, Twin Drive was the number 1. Unfortunately, I think that's because of weird clumping with Bright Lights, where we didn't have many. In general, in Japanese print, like I think maybe a different run of them had it. But it then becomes like things like, yeah, Twin Drive, some of the widespreads, Warmongers right now would be a big one. Hold the Line's a big one, which is hence I'm opening this set. Those 2 cards. But it's very meta dependent. To be fair, though, our data is very skewed because we actually don't have an infinite amount of stock, right? So there's some cards we just can never open enough of, like E-Strike, right? No, Snatch isn't played right now. Neither is Sigil. So I think we have them in stock nearly always. The big telltale sign is when you can't even stock white borders. They just fly off the shelf. And that's nearly always Command and Conquer. So I have a report I run on flukenbox.com pretty much weekly. And the report is called Search Result is Null, N-U-L-L, which means what are people typing in our search bar that results in that returns no result, which means the card's out of stock. And we hide all our cards that are out of stock. We don't like to keep them because it's just like fishing for leads. Like people click on it, but they can't actually buy it. So we don't want that. You can't usually find cards that are out of stock on our site. If you can see an out of stock card, it means it's sold in the last week. And the number one always is Command and Conquer. Just FYI. But also that's very obvious because of the price of Command and Conquer. The demand's so high. But again, then it gets kind of funky. Sometimes it's Twin Drive, sometimes it's E-Strike. It really depends on what the flavor of the month deck is. Heck, there was a point where it was Drone of Brutality. Because they unbanned Drone, remember, for a split second? Was it a split second? I can't remember. I just remember there was a mad rush for drones. But if you like, in about an hour and a half's time, I can pull that report up on the screen. And I'll show you. Just remind me. Remind me when I'm halfway. Because I'll be saying that I'm halfway. And I usually need a break to stretch my legs or whatever. Again, so the widespreads were in demand on launch, not now. Like, hey, look at that. Pack 1. Rain Before Light of Soul. Beautiful. So it's what I'm saying, Venge, is it's a mixture between demand and what we physically have. I was going to make a point before I lost my train of thought, but I think it would be much cooler to get TCG player sales data. Because I've seen Card Market do it, and I don't rely on that either because it's a much smaller like footprint for Flesh and Blood. But I think TCG Play would be very interesting data to see what sells the most. But I'm nearly guarantee you it's still sync below red. It's not going to change ever, I don't think. What's the site that used to do this? It was a Flesh and Blood data analysis website. I think it was tied to FABDB. It wasn't Fab Armory, it was like Fab Workshop. I don't know what it was called. Yeah, when you went on that, it was like, what card is found in... Like, it showed you what cards were in how many... Techlo Labs, that's the one. Yeah, is it still up? If it is, that'll tell you pretty much ties very close. Fabric probably has the data, but yeah, Techlo Labs is the one. That's pretty much neck and neck with sales data. Poor foil warmongers. Yeah, it was Command and Conquer, sync below. Yeah, I figured, I mean, the founder of FabDB, Kirk, is a local, actually. I know him. I didn't realize he did close it down. I knew he was thinking of selling it, and I think Fabrary probably chewed up a lot of his patrons. And he was really passionate. He's actually publishing his own game. If anyone's curious about that, I can find the info and tell you guys what it's called. It's an online game, not a TCG. The guy's mega talented. Okay, so he shut down the Technolabs side. Technolabs was just pretty much analyzing FABTCG data, I believe. But yeah, I remember looking at that going, yep, that's what we get asked for the most, or is the hardest to keep in stock. But again, it changes week to week. Like you can imagine this week, overall Flesh and Blood cards sold, you'd probably be looking at a heap of Zen cards and a heap of like Poison the Wells, Red Sigil of Solace, etc. People speccing for the new heroes. I mean, yeah, we sold a bunch of like Earth commons and rares. But it is interesting. I'm not against like sharing the data either. Just no one's ever really asked. I'd probably send you a spreadsheet if someone wanted to make a video on some sales data. We're actually creeping up to a year now of the shop being... So we've been open for longer than a year, but our shop being on flukenbox.com is a year in July. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video. Yeah, well, 5K is very close. I think we're 120 away. It's going to be fun. I mean, the box is right here. If by some miracle we get 120 this week, then I'll be opening it Australian Nats and streaming it for whoever wins it. Otherwise... Analytics wise, it's probably like 4 to 6 weeks away to hit 120. But sometimes you just get odd bursts of activity. Sometimes you lose 10 subscribers, just they're probably bots or whatever, and Google does a big ban wave. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. We probably have about 3 hours of this to go. What have I done for? We're on box 6. Hey, Dead Summer, have you approached LSS about the law writing stuff? I don't know if that ever looped back to you, but they lost their original... there's a couple that was writing the law for Fab. I don't know if you've actually ever approached them. Thanks, Herbert. Also, we only hit one extended art Majestic from 48 boxes last stream, which is kind of crazy. So I'm hoping to see a few more than one. But if you have a playset of extended art widespreads, just know that they're insanely hard to get. Cold foil Radiant Touch. See, I just had to complain, and there we go. Widespread ruin, extended art. Just what we needed. Avenger, I've been manifesting. What's the chance of that? Well, sometimes you just gotta talk enough shit for long enough, and then things happen. Actually, let's see who's an OG in here. If Rob's in here, he'll probably remember this one. Who remembers opening a box upside down because someone in chat called it, and the first pack on the bottom had exactly what that person called? Was anyone there for that? I should go find that video. I think it wasn't an eye. No, it wasn't. Although we've done crazy with Arcane Rising, obviously, and the amount of eyes we've done in a row. It was a shard. It was a shard, and it was Is it Rainbow Four Rapture? Yeah, it was Crew Unlim, and Ryan Bell, who's a local of mine, was like, open that one from the bottom left pack, and I'm like, really? So I just ripped the box upside down. And then fucking pulled a shard. Also, like, let me explain. A shard is not 1 in 40 boxes even. It's like 1 in 120. It's crazy how hard it is to find a shard. But, yep, picked it, called it. Yeah, I gotta find that. I gotta find that clip. Make a little short out of it. Because I've got it, like, I don't know how many 100 videos I've made, but some of the old ones have some pretty cool. Well, so we figured something out with bottom left packs. If you guys remember, was it Outsiders? I think it was Outsiders. Every bottom left pack has a rainbow foil majestic in it. So there's potentially, like, it's not that random. Maybe, because that was Japanese print as well. It's just maybe back in the day no one had noticed it, but maybe Crew Unlim bottom left pack always has the rainbow foil legend. Bright Lights had it. So yeah, maybe we're onto something. Maybe Crew had that issue. Maybe other sets have had it, and just no one picked up on it. I think I'm trying to remember who. It might have been Hemel with Bright Lights asking me to check if that was a thing, but I don't think I would have noticed it all by myself, because like when I'm grabbing a pack like now, I don't look in the box, so I don't always know if it's the last pack or whatever. But maybe bottom left pack in Japanese print has always had a bit of a thing going for it. I mean, look, let's try it. This is bottom left pack of Dusk Till Dawn. No. But when we get the Bright Lights, which we will eventually, I don't know how much we have, but it's probably a good 40 boxes. I will, maybe I'll keep every bottom left pack aside and then do one opening with them. We have a cold foil legendary. You know, funnily enough, this was the bottom left pack because I pulled the other bottom left pack out and this fell down. And so, I don't know if it counts, but it's something. It was definitely the last pack of the box. Morris. I mean, we'll definitely open 200-300 boxes of Rosetta. I mean, it has rune blades in it, like 100% gonna be a popular set. So, and it just, LSS can't seem to miss with the art. The art looks amazing. Make sure you buy your null runes now. You're gonna need them. Although maybe they print something new. Remember they, what did they do? Where were the... Is it for Pro Tour Amsterdam? The new art null runes? Can someone remember? Yeah, the rubber mat in that box looks very cool. That's for sure. Also, I hope it means a gem fable, right? Like, I really hope they make a new fable that's playable, that's a gem, that's generic. I would love to see that. Imagine if it's a fable that says, if this is in your pitch zone, prevent all arcane damage. Yeah? That'd make me very happy. That's all I want. Ooh, we got a Marvel. Double up Marvel. See, I say clumping like there's what, 8 Marvels in this set? Hit 2 of the same in a row is just weird. Not complaining, but it's weird. I don't know, I'm not a mathematician to do the maths on what the probability of that happening is, but it's very low. If it was random. I don't know if you'll see a new arcane defensive mechanic. I think this set is not going to have pure arcane heroes. I think all of the heroes will lean into hybrid damage, because I think, I mean, look at the Earth card pool now. I don't think they're going to print an entire playset of Earth non-attack wizard actions. I think you're going to be playing a whole bunch of Earth attacks and be able to deal arcane, same as kind of like a rune blade, but I imagine the wizards will have a, you know, bigger percentage of arcane damage. And what are we timestamping? What did I say? It's time-stamped on the video. Oh, you mean the arcane shard? Right, I get you. You think I'm right? In the link. Oh, I can't see the link. Did you post the link in here? It won't pop up. Unless you sent it to me privately, which is great. I'll post it later. And Rob, if you just watched the video, what was the quality like? Have we come far? Man, that was a long time ago. Ah, I see the... Here, wait. We'll do this for fun. I'm going to pull this up on my phone. Ah, maybe I've made a video of it already. Here we go. Alright, enough of that. Right. Wow, we made even more of a mess. No face cam, guys. Oh,
we're opening the left one next.
So this was bottom right.
Rare. Rare.
It wasn't even the bottom left, it was the bottom right. So I messed up the whole thing, but I was right in the end. I think you'll have, yeah, you could probably go to the chat. There should be a chat replay. Wait, when is that video from? 2 years ago. 25 of November 21. That was a fun stream. I remember. I think we did that. That stream was insane. If I remember correctly, we opened like alpha and everything in that stream. Because we just got on a roll. And I'd be like, if we hit this, I'll open the next thing. And then we would. And then... yeah, we opened a lot. I really spent a lot of money, basically, is what happened. All right, enough distractions. We gotta get all these boxes open. Non-foil crown. I didn't realize how few of these we had. We actually had none before yesterday. Venge, I think no, because I think I still used to open a lot anyway. Man, look at how dog-eared that is. You guys see the... it's bad. Lucky it's not a good card. No, I never also used to get too crazy adrenaline anyway. Although, like, we hit the Marvel Enigma recently, and that was very exciting. If you haven't caught that, I made a short of it. I only had one gold pack, so we opened like 11 gold packs the day before, and then I found one more, and that had the... and I opened it at the very start of the stream, so it was literally within 2 minutes of starting the stream, I pulled the best card in the set. Hopefully in the Japanese language ones we get one of these manga art enigmas. That'd be great. That's the only other card we haven't hit. Actually, that's not true. I haven't hit a young Marvel Enigma yet. I had to buy one for myself, because we never hit one. 200 boxes, 0 Marvel Enigmas young. Again, someone should tell me what the odds of that are, because it's very unlikely to not hit at least one. It's for the art, but from the shop perspective, that's so much money in one card. It becomes the difference between you making 5 to 10% profit and 30 to 40% profit. Like hitting that Marvel Enigma instantly made us profitable without having to sell a single other card from that point on, because we'd already done pre-orders. You know what I mean? So like financially, for a stop, it was for a shop, it was amazing to hit. We sold it for $5,500 USD because it hit a 10. And yeah, being able to like reduce or eliminate risk completely with box openings is great for us. Not that we've ever like lost. You're talking about the young one? Yeah, that's why I picked it up for me, because I want that art in my deck. I think it's the best art. I was so annoyed that we didn't hit a single one. Which is also, by the way, why we don't do any foil pre-orders anymore. Marvel's cold foils, nothing, because we just don't know if we'll hit them. So we don't put them up. which is a shame because I'd like to be able to do the maths and project that in 200 boxes we should hit one of every Marvel and then just put them up for sale as pre-order pricing, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. Oops. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but it's kind of weird. The Young Vincent is a rare, the Young Prism is a majestic. If you didn't know that LSS have a bias towards illusionists, now you do. Very hard card to hit. Foil Dimensional Vortex. Very weird card. It's like one of the only... I think the other card is Gorganian Tone. It doesn't have a pitch value, which makes no sense on this card if you think about it, but it doesn't. And it plays with your opponent's arsenal, which you'd think is overpowered, but this doesn't see play, oddly enough. Also, that was Frank's spoiler card, Frank and Blood. If you remember him posting chain memes, photoshopping his face onto chain cards for a long time. They did give him a chain spoiler, and it was that, and then they never released chain. So, maybe one day. Do the rares too. Alright. Okay. What am I missing here? These just commons. I forgot I already opened the pack. Just getting comfortable. Alright, here we go. Chains of Mephitis. Also, I don't think sees play. It's surprising because there's so much text on that card. Usually that means it's very strong. We have a Marvel. Figment of Judgment. We're doing incredibly well on Marvels. That's What is that? 8, 9, 10, 11-ish boxes for 3 Marvels so far. And another Warmongers. So can it hold... yeah, I guess because if you banish something and then can play it, you can't pitch it, right? So if you Blood Rush into that, you probably don't have anything to pitch. It's not bad. What happens if a Brute has to draw discard? Would that just completely ruin it because they can't discard? That'd be hilarious. Well, they can't draw. Again, surprising it doesn't see play. But it has Blood Debt, so I think Blood Debt slots like on the decks that use them usually go for attacks, right? Or they're just picky with what goes in. Yeah, I mean, it seems good, right? But again, there's just not that many Shadow Heroes around me either. So Shadow Hero players around me. It's probably situational. I was just thinking in my head, if Balance of Justice is being played, you'd think this is in every Shadow deck, right? At least as a sideboard. So I still have high hopes we will hit that serialized. This will literally put us close to 400 boxes total open to Dusk Till Dawn. But it's probably also the very last Dusk Till Dawn will open. So I'm hoping. Also, I might have to do a... Let's say if we hit the Marvel Levia or the serialized card, I might do a giveaway box or something. So stay tuned. Sensor. These have been flying off the shelves lately. I think it's like a Wish.com CNC replacement. It's a red 1 for 5 blocks 3. And I think it's extremely good into Zen. I mean, it's probably good into every deck if you know what to name. If you have a good read on what's going on. Yeah, it's probably an amazing 1 card off Tunic, right? You're gonna force usually armor. One of the cooler hero arts in the game. Iron Maiden. this box has had nothing in it so far. I've had way too many Morlock Hills tonight. Starting to worry. Hey, numbskull foil. I think this is stronger than people realize. They'll realize it when ice is back in the meta, I think. I think that'll be one of the best cards in the game when ice is in the meta. I think it'll just destroy frostbites when you play it, because they'll attempt to make you pay for it, but you don't need to. So it's a bit like Unpreventable Arcane in reverse. Yeah, it is a very good popper. Can't be messed with. Triumph, and there's like the other card, it's an instant or whatever that reduces. I don't know if it's just shadow attack, but did we get the serialized card? No, I'm trying, Jackson. Also, long time no see, man. You're gonna be a nuts. What pummel degen have you got running this time? That's the one, reprimand. Hey, cold foil. I think I know what it is. Oh, not bad. This is like gorgeous card. I'm not playing Nats, but that's exactly what I'd be playing if I was. Is it a similar list to Michael Feng's, or is it your own little brew? Because if it's yours, I'd love to see a copy, man. If you send me a list. It's just for me because I am building Enigma, just haven't quite figured out how. But you can also wait till after Nats if you're worried. Yes, there's the Monarch Aura, right, as well. I don't think anyone plays Blinding Beam, but isn't there an aura that also does the same thing? Or maybe it's just Triumph. Yeah, just the Herald. Humility, that's the one. How much for... I don't know if that's autocorrect, Herb. Dig up dinner foil. I don't know if I'd play 9 pummels ever, but I definitely, like, the second I saw Enigma, I was like, wait a second. If you want to play blues, surely you want to run big expensive attacks, and surely you want to play blue pummel. And the idea was blue pummel a Command and Conquer and transcend. You know, that was what I was thinking. But that's just me. I don't rate red pummel in every deck because most of the time you don't need. Yes, Ripple Away is a pummel target. I wanted to run Pursuit of Knowledge as a pummel target. See, we're thinking similarly. Not that you want to pummel your Ripple away, but hey, if that's what you got, you might as well get value out of it. Are you just running Cosmo, Jackson, or have you played around with other weapons? Because that's one of the biggest things I would like to do, is not run Cosmo. I want to use the counters to just make like either one big attack or use Iris. Because again, you're running massive blue deck. Iris makes a lot of sense. And it works on Prism, so. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, getting a free attack off Spectral Shields is huge value. It definitely helps the like Kodachi Lock endgame as well, probably. You can actually block with your whole hand and protect one shield with a few counters on it. I just don't like having so many D-reacts in a deck. I wanted to build a little bit more aggressive, or like more tempo, and pummels sing to me, you know? Hey, we're rich. Foil, poison the well. Don't know why this got printed, but here we are. Whoops. Yeah, Farron. You must be watching very early on in the stream to be saying that. But yes, I think Vincent has a good place if there's illusionists in the game. What's the card? Tell me, do you run blue lanterns, or is that just terrible? And is Prowler the one that makes 3 spectral shields? What's the card that makes 3 when it's removed? It's not a MST card, it's a It might even be in this set. Lantern was terrible. It's again, I haven't tested with it. But it seemed like your chances of flipping a blue are likely, you know? And it plays a blue, so it's a transcend target. But yeah, the value's probably very low. No, not prismatic shield. I think it's the one that when you when it leaves creates 3 shields, or when destroyed. What set is it from? I've been sorting cards at like all day. I can't remember what set it's from. The problem is they don't have counters, so I feel like they're not very good. Well, if you're playing like Iris Prism, it makes sense. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Maybe that's it, yeah. The Dynasty card. I said this in yesterday's stream, like, there's a bunch of cards, like even Veiled Intentions, I feel like should have always seen more play when Phantasmal Footsteps were played, and they weren't. It's so strong. It's that kind of thing I like. I like slightly off meta builds. I played a Pummel Dromite in Blitz that was some of the most fun I've ever had. People thinking you're there to make dragons, and suddenly you're pummeling a Phantasmaclasm, and their world falls apart. Hey, Scepter of Pain, cold foil. That's the one. It's Ward 1, right? Because it costs 1 with Ward 1 is probably terrible. If it was a 0 cost, it's not bad, maybe. Come on. Marvel Levia. Yeah, I see the problem. Because I played, who's the guy that won, whatever it was, maybe Minneapolis, was it Minneapolis? Whatever the first event was with Enigma. Hey, Jacob, that was terrible. Sorry, he won on Enigma, or came second, I really can't remember. But his list, I can't play it, like, I don't know, it felt terrible. Just you draw so many brick hands, but also I think I was sideboarding wrong with his list to begin with. Jacob, long time no see. Hope you've been well. You coming to Nats? Is there? Yeah, Phantasmal Haze is cool. I still think, like, hey, here we go. 2 of them in one stream? Another full art widespread. That's what we need. Hey, I didn't qualify either, Jacob, but if you want to come up and hang out, we can pick you up on the drive up. Oh, look, I was like, wow, I wonder when Matthew O'Grady's going to turn up into the chat and claim this. And here you are, like clockwork. Be honest, Matthew, who told you I just pulled it? Waves of Aquamarine. Which one's that? Because that doesn't ring a bell to me at all. Is that the one that makes a spectral, or the one with ward? Alright. Look, Matthew, I'm just going to be... These are being held for you, okay? See? All three. As promised. They're not going on the shop, alright? I promise. They Matthew actually helps us with the shop a bunch these days, so... buff an attack by 1. What does that help you do? Or, yeah, why not use the one with the counter? The +1 counter. Is it because it gives that attack go again at the same time? Is that why? That's a Cold Fall Scepter, yeah. Do I need to also put that aside? Because you never sent me that list. Alright, it's aside. Oh, right. I see. It's a pseudo pummel. That's great tech. I'm assuming you're playing... I'm assuming you're playing some more generic attacks with on hits. There are no illusionist on hit cards, are there? Drome might have them, but yeah, Matthew, I got you, man. They're aside. I just didn't know you wanted. Fine, because Matthew is recently in proximity of the Fluke and Box store, he gets a lot of special treatment. That's what I was saying. You know, I was thinking that today, Jackson, as I was sorting a bunch of Uprising foils we had left over. And I was like, oh, shame, these are never going to see play again. I'm like, imagine a dust up. Oh. Imagine a 0/4 on hit, create a spectral. Yeah. By the way, I bet you that card exists on a testing bench somewhere in Auckland. And we're never going to see it. I mean, I don't know how broken it is. Like, they could have also made it a yellow majestic, right? And you probably wouldn't play it, but yeah, it's very cool. Very cool hero concept. Also, like, something's fundamentally changed with Fab that I think people aren't really catching on to. It depends on how long you've been playing for. I've been playing for about 3 years, so I'm no, like, OG or anything, but maybe longer than some. Fab used to release heroes like Icelander, and all you could do was wish and hope, right? You would see the new hero, you would play them and immediately realize that this is not going to be very good right now. And then you also assumed or realized that in the future they will buff this hero into the meta. Happened with Icelander pretty big time, but it took a while. Like, it took a really long time for Icelander to go from being released. What did they do? They released her young first, then they released adult, and then she needed a little bit more help after that still. Nowadays, like Enigma, it's like ready to play off the shelf. Although, I guess where I'm trying to come from though, is imagine some of these heroes in a year. If you see what I'm saying. I think Jackson, my guess with New Moon, that's a great hit, Decimator, Cold Foil. I think New Moon is maybe one of the concepts they had for Enigma that didn't quite make it to CC, but they thought was cool enough and made a Blitz hero out of it. It feels that way. Because you can do like cool combo stuff in Blitz. But yeah, imagine like if Enigma does an LL in a year. What her card pool will look like. Because if she's not doing very well, there's every chance they'll have a dust up in the expansion slot in the next couple of sets, you know? That's what I look forward to. Well, Baka right now, that's Zen, right? Zen could very likely... I don't want to say he's like the new Starvo, but could very likely be the new KO. How many LL points does KO have right now? Anyone know? Off the top of your head? I imagine he's got way more than some much older heroes, but they reduced it, right? Zajima, yeah, to a point, although this is the first hold the line tonight. I feel like Prism, yes, see, like that is that's a big problem, I feel. Having any new hero 60% of the way to leaving the game already before the next set even had a chance to come out, but I feel like there's a disconnect with LSS testing and their version of the meta and then what actually happens, which is very normal. Like, I don't think you can... It doesn't even matter if they had 1,000 people testing. Once you release the game into the wild, other people will develop and figure out other things. I think... Again, this is just like me talking shit. I don't really know. I'll explain that in a sec, Herbert. But I think what happens with LSS is they don't factor in, because from what you can see, everyone that works at LSS is quite a good player. Definitely not an average player. And I think they don't factor in how easy a hero is to play when they figure out their own internal, whatever you call it, tier list. I think that happened with Briar. I think it happened with Starvo. And I genuinely believe internally those heroes may not have been the best, but that needs someone who's very masterful at building decks and piloting them to figure that out. And you release like an easy to play hero like KO. I'm not saying it's like you're going to win worlds on KO because it's so easy. I'm saying if you're a very good player and you can play a deck that you're unlikely to misstep on because it's fairly straightforward to play and the lines write themselves. Briar was like that. There weren't like 10 different lines for every hand. Well, like playing Dory, there's already more lines than Briar ever had, and that's not a complex hero. And then you got like Prism now is infinitely more complex than KO to play. So yes, it's probably a much better hero, but I really don't think... Correct, Backer, like the math decks, the decks that just spit out numbers. And I think they are balancing them incorrectly. I don't know if they have a scale internally where they go, well, this hero is like a 9 out of 10 difficulty to pilot, so it needs to have 10 to 20% more life or 10 to 20% more value in its cards to balance for that fact. I guess they worry that that'll just take over. Like, obviously a deck like that in the hands of a good player is unbeatable, but I felt that ever since Briar, like the whole eating crayons thing, and it's still one of the best decks. Like Chain was a lot harder to play than Briar. But anyway, I'm just ranting now. I don't know how much they look. I don't know how much they value simplicity of play pattern or simplicity of the lines when they balance these heroes. Chain with Rune Gate's pretty fun, huh? I imagine, yeah, all the Vincent cards in Chain make it a whole different different beast. Is he the best deck in LL? Like, is it enough to make him completely stomp Starvo or not quite? Yeah, Zajima, I really do think they... Like, the biggest example, the real public, slightly embarrassing one, is them claiming that Prism was really good with the old Luminaris until they released it. Till they released a new like Luminaris, no one played Prism, and then they looped back and said, well, internally they were using a hybrid Iris Prism when they said that she was really good, and people hadn't figured that out yet. But that's very indicative. So if it's a hybrid dual weapon illusionist that has to have a very different game plan into every deck, that's pretty hard to figure out. Versus Zen right now, who very likely, because there's no ice in the meta, doesn't really have to have a massively complicated sideboard or completely different game plan. He's just going to swing whatever it is a turn, 16, 17 damage on average, and kill you, which is what he's going to do. I think Zen still is more complicated than some of the older aggro decks. I mean, remember Stubby's Fi? Like, again, no offense to players that played that deck, but I don't think it was complicated. I don't think you had to really spend a lot of time perfecting your lines. I think Zen maybe you have to remember some lines, some combos, know what's in your deck so you can go get it out and play it with his hero ability, but yeah. Fire is super brain dead, but it was the best deck, remember? I had to throw bans at it immediately. It was the best deck. You could get turn 0 killed 40-0. I was a warrior player. I could block with all my equipment and hand and still die. So, you get what I'm saying. I've made my point. Whether you agree or not, you know what I'm saying. The easier the deck, I think the more important it is that they keep it very balanced. Well, you got like decks like Arachne, probably a little bit more complex to pilot, should maybe have a little bit more going for it. And when I say pilot, I also mean build the deck. I think that they go hand in hand. Because building a deck is not just actually building the deck, it's complexity of like sideboard and ratios and stuff that the average player net decking isn't going to figure out. And I'm aware that that stuff already gets rewarded. Where are we? We have done more than a third, is what I can see. So what's that? 4 times 16. This is box 19. Am I doing that right? 4x4? No, more than that. Yeah. I think 19 boxes. Do you guys think Zen is actually the deck to beat, or are people still like, obviously US Nats is over, but do we think that, here we go, Dream State. Yeah, 582 is high. again, that deck just feels... although there are some decisions you got to make, it just feels like there's not that much interaction. You're just playing your cards out. Yeah. I mean, what's the draft format like? It's a little bit of a triangle, right? It's Zen beats Enigma, Enigma beats Nu, and Nu beats Zen. Like, is that roughly what it is? So does that mean a really good Nu should beat Zen in a CC match, or is it just completely different in CC? I haven't actually drafted it yet. I did play it in sealed, and that's what it felt like. Is Zen's pop-off too big, do you think? Because potentially people are blocking wrong, or because they don't have enough disruption? Or is it just like sheer numbers? Because like Katsu, Katsu's a very good deck, but you can kind of keep it at bay if you understand it as well as the player playing it. I don't, so I get punished. But is it cards like Amnesia and Censor just turn that deck off? Pummel. Another crown. Because to be fair, Katsu doesn't feel fair to play against, because if you don't understand what Katsu's doing, you just... I feel like it's worse than Dory. If you don't understand the combos and which exact card you shouldn't let hit, you just get dishonored turn one. It hasn't happened to me yet, but I know it can happen, and it's... You know. But, again, that's a fixable problem. You just need to maybe go watch some videos. Or ask some questions when your game's over. So in my head, I thought Dory would beat Zen very easily. I remember when Fi was, I mean, post Stubby's ban, but Pro Tour in France, when Fi was very much the deck to beat. But Oldham was still around. I didn't drop a game into Fi because Fi couldn't block or didn't want to block, and that was like, once Glistening came out, that became completely the wrong way to play into Dory, because I would have my weapon doing 1 for 8 with Go Again. And now it's even better with Grains. But it was still close. You just managed to get there in the end because your weapon was so big. And I think you just eventually forced them to full block before you had to full block. I wonder if that's even remotely possible. Problem is Dory doesn't have disruption, so unless you get there, you have no way to like gain any advantage aside from your counters getting big. I haven't played a single Dory game into Zen though, so I don't know. Bottom left pack, last pack of the box. Nothing. Give me a second just to clean up a little. 20. All right, these boxes are halfway. 24. The playmat is. I think it's the staff one. I'm trying to remember. I don't think this is the world's one. I think this was the. I can probably show you. Do you see that? MJF 2020. That's MJ from LSS. She made this art. I believe there's another iteration of it that was sold at Worlds, but this was the staff playmat. I bought this. Obviously, I wasn't playing the game in 2020. I started in 21. This was actually quite expensive. There weren't many of them around. But there's James White. There's Kano. There's Dory. It's staff members, more or less. Oh man. I am vending and I didn't qualify. So I'll tell you my sob story. I had a good result in Lille. I came 42nd. And the next big event I went to was it Worlds? Could have been Worlds, the first one. Whatever it was, the big event that I went to, I didn't play the main event. I was playing the calling. I lost 2 rounds. Sorry, I won 2 rounds and then I lost 3, right? So I wasn't feeling it. I think Oldham was still in the meta. But anyway, I clicked on my phone, lost, and then I clicked drop me. And then I went and I don't know, I think I lined up to get the James White playmat, something like that. The next day, I go in my gem to, hey, another foil. Fable, that's nice. So I go in my gem for another event the next day, and I was still in the calling screen, and I noticed that I had like 4 or 5 losses after I dropped. They didn't drop me, and which is something they've fixed since then. Now, when you don't have an opponent, if you get a match loss for not turning up, the judge will usually drop you from the event unless you've gone and asked the judge not to do that. So I lost. I went down to like 14. I don't know what it was, 1450 elo, and unfortunately, it's been very hard to get back up. So I usually qualify on XP for Nats, and they removed that. So I couldn't qualify on XP, which I would have if I could. And on Elo, I was, I'm only now back up to 15, like 1510 or something. Like slowly, it's a very slow grind back up. Because I'm not a player that can win like 8-0. I also never ever play the best deck, so that's my fault. But yeah, couldn't qualify on XP, couldn't qualify on Elo. RTN, I got super unlucky with matchups. Like, not much I could have done. I played well. I should have top 8'd one and didn't. So. Yeah, I saw Mara's results on Dio. I mean, I wonder what Tom Dowling's doing. Should be his deck, right? It's going to be an interesting Nats. I think the Aussie meta is always quite interesting, but it's also not a CC meta anyway. It's you got to be able to draft, right? So very interesting to see. We have like such a talented pool of players. So like there's any one of 20 players could take it and no one would be surprised. See, like I've beaten a pummel Icelander on my Dory. I know how to play. But that's it. That's my one claim to fame was beating Jackson. That was a very close match though. It really came down to one moment, and I managed to choose correctly. If I hadn't, I would have lost. But I played to my outs. Like I played the line that I could win with. So, ooh, we like this. Scowling Flesh Bag. DC, what deck are you playing? Because if you say Kano... Ah, see, I knew. Ugh. I was going to say, no sympathy if you're playing Kano. But that's fine. You'll just get some free wins in CC anyway. Why am I opening packs upside down? What's suddenly... Yeah, it was 2 years ago, Jackson. And that crappy little hall we had in Melbourne. Crazy, that was before I had a single shop. Now, I just vend them. Well, that Nats specifically in Australia had no... no one brought singles. I think the shop that did bring some singles just had high-end. And the shop that ran the event, who had a lot of singles, they wouldn't even let you order. It's actually funny because it's so poetic. They wouldn't let you order singles and pick them up at the event. They were like, we're too busy. So you couldn't buy singles from the tournament organizer and then get them at the event. It was one of the catalysts for Dev and I opening our own shop. It's like, what is this circus that is Flesh and Blood in Australia? We were so shocked. It made no sense why you would like run the nationals for a game that you didn't go out of your way to support. But anyway, we fixed that problem, so it's fixed now. Sometimes you just got to do things yourself. Yeah, we did that, didn't we? Remember the finals nearly got played outside. Box is doing great. We had this like big influx of sales the last few days with Rosetta being announced, so he was probably hoping to have an easy week, but that plus I've been opening boxes like my house is on fire, so it always brings in more orders when we list more stock. I always like to, when I put stock in the system, every time I put a card in that we had zero stock of is like a feels good moment, because it means someone out there's probably tried to buy one. And, you know, DTD, we never opened again. Like we did the one big, like 250 box opening, and then we didn't like it. The EV was terrible. We never touched it again. Last pack of this box. Yeah, that's the main thing. It's like the least profitable part of our business is stocking all the commons and rares, but again, we personally wanted to be able to build decks. And if you're going to do it, you might as well do it for everyone, because, you know. I think the EV's not that great on this set. It's carried by... what you want is you want Everfest EV, where it's not the Fable and the Legendaries that are high. It's all the Majestics are like whatever, 10, 15 bucks each, because you're guaranteed to get your money back. But this set, not all the Majestics are good. Like the Bannerets are terrible, right? Like it doesn't matter. There's not that many Bolton players. So unfortunately, you'll hit a Warmongers and it helps, but you'll also hit more bannerets. And like again, I was putting the stock in yesterday. Some of the Shadow Brute cards and Shadow cards are literally, we have 60, 70 of them in stock, which means we've probably never sold a playset of them, like since the set came out. And obviously Warmongers we have none. Hold the Line we have none. Heavy Hitters is good because again it came out, pretty much all of the cards, all of the heroes had demand. Betsy was like the first one to really drop off, and then like there's still Victors being played. Also the cards do buff. Like if you played Rhina, you need those cards. If you play Dory, you need the cards. Yeah, DTD's terrible. Mind you, it's not a uniquely Dust Till Dawn problem. Expansion sets for Flesh and Blood are terrible to open in general. Crew's terrible. Everfest is terrible to open. It just has a really good broad spread of Majestics in it. And I do think Dust Till Dawn is turning into that, like slowly. Like again, Poison the Well was worthless till this week. And I think that's what will happen over time. When Monarch 3 comes out, the third iteration in the Light and Shadow set, this set will skyrocket. Because I'm sure there's a million building blocks for decks in this set that it just haven't been realized yet. Because why play it, you know? Either the hero that needs some of these cards hasn't been printed yet, or I think definitely like a Shadow hero might be coming. Bright Lights EV, I imagine, is also terrible. Same thing. I'm sure there's some cards like Twin Drive is still worth money. It goes in every single mech, casual or competitive. It's a very good card. It's the CNC for mech, really. It does everything mech wants to do, and it does it very well. The ability to... Ooh, that's a nice hit. The ability to boost once or twice is very cool. It removes a bunch of variants in that deck, or in all mech, because if you boost away your one non-mech card, like a Tome of Findle on Dash.io for instance, you can still get go again. But I can't remember what the generics in Bright Lights are. But hey, we'll get there. I have a bunch of it. I have a bunch of Outsiders as well to open. So what I'll probably do next... I mean, Tails has to happen at some point, right? I've got a bunch of Everfest History Pack. Wow, that's super lucky. It's like 2 in a row. Yeah, Outsiders, History Pack, Bright Lights. What we don't have is any Dynasty. Yeah, I don't think we have any bulk in Dynasty. I think I opened... We had like one loose box in this collection. I just opened it myself. There was a good hit in it, I can't remember, but paid for the box. Oh. It's like cards like this. This is a foil Majestic. What's the price of a Beckoning Light foil? $1 or $2, I think, on TCG Player. So, like yesterday, whenever we opened, I hit 4 hold the line foils, and I think 3 foil warmongers. They're massive. That's hundreds of dollars. But if you get beckoning lights instead, it's like hundreds of dollars less for that box break. Like, and we're talking 48 boxes. It's second cold foil of these. These are great. I don't know how many of you have ever like actually looked at this art properly, but that is Mr. Reinar, what looks like Reinar, wearing it. I usually gloss over the art, but it's very cool. I've been tossing up whether I even open the history pack on stream. It's I love the product. It's so boring to open. No foils, 36 packs in a box. It's just a grind. I don't know if I have a favorite card. Yeah, there's too many. I don't have a favorite. There's many. Singing Steel Blade's good, but wouldn't be my favorite. Also, like, Singing says reprise, and it just doesn't matter anymore. Oh, the lore and the art, yes, it's great, but it's nowhere near like the best looking card in the game. For me personally. Just putting some of this bulk away. I put these in too quick and I mixed up some foils and rares, so let me fix that. Crippling crush. If we're talking art, one of my current new favorites would be the Young Enigma. For sure, like the water art. It's easily one of my favorite arts. Old school would be probably E-Strike. I'm gonna make a very very hot take. If E-Strike and Tunic were not so fucking beautiful, I don't know if Fab would be as big as it is, if existed at all. I think how iconic Tunic is as an art piece is it's hard to put value on how good the art is and what it's done for the game. Because like personally, this is a good story to tell. I got into Fab because I subscribed to Alpha Investments, Rudy's channel, for a long time. More for like I never played TCGs, had no inkling of ever doing it. I just enjoyed his rambles, right, and pack openings, like the ASMR of it. And I remember him opening an alpha box and an arcane box, and I paid very little attention. And then he opened a crew box, and that's the one I paid more attention to. And I remember him hitting Shiana and a shard in one box. I think it was one box, maybe one case, whatever it was. I literally bought a crew box first ed that week, and I pulled a Shiana. Now, I don't think Shiana is the best art in the game, but I tell you now, if that art wasn't so fucking good and caught my eye, wouldn't have bought a box. You know, and obviously Rudy's reaction. So it's me watching Rudy react to opening a Cold Fall Shiana when that was a $8,000 card in the US. That's what draws people in. Like, gameplay is great, lore is great. For me personally, it's the art and those real iconic early pieces. Yeah. And I really think, like, if you look at Fab's history or LSS's history, they've made mistakes here and there, which is completely expected. I think they handle them very well. But it's really hard to find many faults in the art. Like, there are some, but they're completely unnoticeable because there's such a massive amount of talent. And when you meet some of the art team, you understand why. Like, they're very, very talented, very, very gifted people. I haven't met Robbie yet, who's like the art director. He's a co-founder as well, I believe. But I met MJ and Sam Yang, and yeah, I mean, crazy talent. No sloop is not MST. You want Japanese MST boxes, Sloop? I'll open some later if you hang around. We might end up opening a case of it later for fun. But that's probably still about an hour and a half away, because I have 24 more of these to open. Oh, that's cool, Sloop. It's always good to see you, bud. Yeah, I mean, imagine... No, what we need is we need to first open the Marvel Manga Enigma. And then open the Marvel New Moon in the gold pack from the same box. That would be... Matt, I don't think so. I think I got plans tomorrow with our boy Dev, because I got to drop off a ton of this stock, right? So, yeah, that's actually why I'm opening late tonight, so I can get this all sorted and boxed up for Dev to give him tomorrow. Cementum, you'll be able to find Japanese cases in Japan for sure. Although you can pretty much buy them now in most regions. Give me a sec. I hear music. I'll be back. I was like, did I leave the door open? But no, it's someone outside. Sorry guys for the dead air. I'm back. How many subscribers did I lose? Fuck. Thing is, actually maybe one of you, oh man, my shoulder's so sore today. Every time I've played music on YouTube, it gets copyright stricken, even when it's like from a playlist that says royalty free, which I did some research and it turns out like you can use royalty free music that is royalty free, but like these fake companies will copyright claim them. And when I say strike, not like I'm gonna lose my channel, it's just they start putting ads on the video, or they make you like mute that section of the video. So I would love to be playing some background music, but it's never gone well for me. But if you know how to fix that, I do know that YouTube has like its own music. Maybe that's what I need to do, is figure out how to just use their music. Obviously it can't be claimed, but yeah, I'll figure it out one day. I want to figure it out for Nats, because there's a lot of dead air. Hey, another carapace. What are we doing? 3 now? Nice. Video game music, is that fine usually? Like all video games? Because I guess, yeah, they want the music to be played because they want the... It's the Elden Ring soundtrack like. No, that's a very very good suggestion, because yes, video games tend to want their stuff shown. I'll test that out, because like there's some sick soundtracks out there for games, and maybe I'll do some research for each game, because I'm sure people have like if I try and use the Diablo soundtrack, if you know, people would have tried it, and if they've had issues, they'll say. Thanks for that, Zajima. That's very helpful. Right. Well, I know, without you telling me, I wouldn't use any Nintendo music, Nintendo game music. I know they're very, Alright, I was like, why isn't this card sliding? Look, it wouldn't slide. You guys can see that massive... It's like, it's nearly like... No, it is. It's just the card peeled back. Yeah, I imagine, like, stay away from, Disney, Nintendo, any of the crazy, aggressive, and probably any games that have TV series and stuff like Game of Thrones. But no, there's plenty there, and plenty of good stuff too. Hades would be one that'd be. I like the music for Hades. Running that in the background would be cool. Yeah, I got Hades 2 and I was playing it a bit, actually, when I was in LA. LA? No, Japan. But I don't know why I lost interest this time. Hades 1 really hooked me, and Hades 2 not as much. I think they did a good job. Hey, foil poison the world. They did a good job, like, the game feels very fresh and new, but it feels like Hades, right? But maybe too much, where like there's so many new weapons and systems and stuff, and like the tempo and speed of the game is different, that it didn't feel as fun. I guess they just didn't want to reskin the first game, which is fine, but maybe to me they went a bit too far making a new game instead of keeping what I liked about the old. I wonder if I'm the only one that feels that way. Man, we've hit... This is the 3rd Cold Foil Scepter. These are great. Any Cold Foil, like common or rare, that sees play is a welcome sight. Because 90% of the time, it's just chaff. My phone died. Might try and fix that. 9. So I did play Hearthstone since launch, never in a massive way. I really enjoyed Marvel Snap, but that felt very predatory with the transactions, so I stopped. I'm just spending too much money to like keep up with that game. But that's it. Paper TCGs are genuinely not for me. Like if it wasn't for my passion for Fab and then meeting a whole bunch of people in it, I wouldn't be playing. It's like an effort thing. It's a lot more effort to play a TCG than like a PC game, and one is enough. And if for some reason I stop playing this one, then it's very unlikely I will play another. Sorry about that. Smacked the mic with my head. Let me just check I haven't missed anything important. Doesn't look like it. I just don't know how how long my phone's been dead for. Alrighty. Last pack. Nothing. Alright, this next box is box 24. It's exactly halfway. Which is when I might good morning, Nicholas. When I might just change bins. Because this one's getting very full. Wait, am I counting this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we're past halfway already. I'm an idiot. 5. Yeah, this is box. I can't do maths. I think this is like box 28 and we have 20 left. I'm way past halfway. I'm counting going, there's not half the boxes left. I think we must have gone into a bit of a flow state there. Opening and lost track. It's a shame because we haven't hit any Marvels that we want. So, and we hit the 3 Marvel Angels very early in the break, so we're kind of due. Dig up dinner foil. Someone asked before, I don't think I answered. It was about Nats. I'm streaming Nats, but I'm not casting it. It'll be Matt Brandwood again, who did last year's Nats, if you enjoyed that. I think he did a great job. This year will probably be a little better. We have some more overlays and stuff. And I think he'll have a co-host this time. But all in all, good night, Matthew. Here we go. We got our our 3rd rebirth in a row. Our Funeral Moon Runic Reckoning. Mate, before you go to sleep, just check the shop because I might have put them up from yesterday. And if I did, quickly grab them or yeah, because I might have already put some up. I know I haven't hit some tonight. But yeah, good night, dude. Okay, you did. Sweet. What is it? Reckoning and Moon. Chat will let me know if I hit them. Make sure, chat, you keep me accountable. I don't think we hit a Funeral Moon. Or a Runic Reckoning. I think maybe one Runic. Let me check. Yes, we did. Look at that. I went straight to it, too. There. think quest. No, that was it. See, I remembered. Wow. Some days I think I'm getting dementia, and then that happens. I'm like, you know what, John, you're not doing too bad. You know what it is, Ajima? I don't think it's dementia. I read something about gaming actually, or just the type of entertainment we consume now and the sheer volume of it. Something about it helping our problem-solving skills, but hurting our short-term memory. So maybe that's why I'm not good at Fab. My short-term memory is terrible. I can't pitch stack to save my life. Alright. I'm just gonna clear this bin out. Man, that's heavy. I know this sucks for you guys, but it's worth it for me. Alright. Exactly 20 boxes left. Whew. Alright, here we go. We're also on exactly the 2-hour mark, so I think this should take about 45 minutes to an hour. If I again, if we hit the Marvel Levia or Marvel serialized like artist sketch, 100% be giving away at least a box. It depends on what's left. Maybe I'll give out more because, you know, our EV will jump up, so we'll be able to afford it. So hit the like button for good giveaways. If you're new here, we are running a 5,000 subscriber giveaway on this channel very soon. Hit the sub button and then go and comment on the video that is the 5K sub giveaway video. It's titled, Is High End Flesh and Blood Dead? And the winner gets pulled from those comments. Might be adding some stuff, some consolation prizes to that giveaway, but seeing that it's a alpha box, it's hard to compete with that. We've already given away an Arcane Rising. Yes, Ben, 3 of the same. Which, funnily enough, we got 0 of yesterday, so it's just balancing out. Any Coldfall Zen State tokens? Coldfall? Were they at Japan? Hey, Ted, I'm great. But yeah, I don't think we have cold foil. I have a lot of first edition rainbow foils end states though, if that tickles your fancy. I think we picked up a Slither cold foil, or yeah, I think it was Slither, and we sold it. I honestly didn't farm the prize wall there as much as wanting to network and play the new set. But Sydney Calling's around the corner, and I'll be doing a whole bunch more ticket farming there. Fang Strike, yeah, maybe that's what I had. Either way, it sold nearly instantly. That's right, it is. Can't wait for... Oh, that's great, Zoz. Yeah, you know, we haven't hit that either. So we haven't hit a Marvel Nazareth in this, like, 96 box opening. Haven't hit... I think that's the main one, other than the really big hits, but... It's alright, we're not quite done yet. Although Marvel Nazareth is kind of underwhelming compared to the other Marvels. I wish it had a fuller side. Sadly, it does not. Whoops. Yeah, they're great. We've done okay. I think the last, yesterday's stream, we did a lot better on the foils. There was so many Hold the Lines and Warmongers. I actually think 3 of the foil Warmongers sold pretty much as soon as I put them up as well. It's a lot of money for 3 bits of cardboard, but so weird that this set has embodiments of lightning and earth. They should have done them in alt art, give them some value that way. I like that the spectral shields, this set had new art, and then Rosetta has new rune chants. Although I really hope they don't print them in cold foil, but Diabolic offering for the last pack. See, this was bottom right again. I'm going to check bottom right packs. Let's try and I'll do this on camera so you guys see it. There's the box. Bottom right. This has a foil majestic. I'm not going to be happy. It doesn't. We're okay. we live to fight another day. Hey. Did I get a foil Runic Reckoning? He wanted foils. Yeah, the new art is a little bit weird, right? Because it's like, but it's thematic, so I like them because they're thematic, so they'll look cool when you're playing that hero. But yeah, I don't, you know, if you flip over Viz and then you're playing with green rune chance, we're gonna have a problem. 0 traverses. So technically speaking, there was quite a big nerf for rainbow foil legendaries. Fuck, what set was it? I can't remember exactly what set, but it drastically went down. It was one every like two point something boxes, and it went back up, right? Because there was a period, maybe this was the period where they added cold foil rainbow to every set, but then the rainbows were like more than one in every 4 boxes. So I think Mist Veil and Heavy Hitters, I think they're the 2 sets where that's different. By the way, you can figure this out yourself on the Collector Center, because it says, so yeah, if you go and look, you'll probably find that's the issue. So it actually feels bad, but it's by design. So I think Heavy Hitters was the first set that they nerfed the drop rates, and Mist Veil is the same. So there's just less legendaries in general in the boxes. Yeah, correct. It used to be like 2 point something legendaries per box if you added rainbow and cold, and it's a lot less than that now. But again, the exact numbers are on the Collector Center. It's probably good because I feel like they had some sets where legendaries were becoming $10, and that shouldn't. I mean, look, there's argument for why that's good, but they weren't $10 because people were playing them. You know what I mean? They were not seeing play, and there was just way too much of them around. Hey, Brian. So, knowing that also, it will change the spread of EV. You've missed most of it, Brian. We've been, I think, streaming for about 2 hours, a little bit more. Trench. See, I mean, Trench is played. It's just only played in one fringe hero. So I think the quivers were always destined to be cheap, but like Emperor shouldn't. And the reason Emperor became so cheap, aside from not seeing a lot of success in Blitz, was there was Rainbow, Cold Foil, and Marvel versions of it, which has also been removed. They stopped doing that 3 versions of a card in a set. I think we discussed this again yesterday. They're obviously trying to make sure when you hit a legendary, it doesn't feel bad. It shouldn't feel bad. You know what I mean? It should maybe at least be 80% of the box price would be nice. My big gripe is with Fables. They're just... That used to be a feels good. Now, even though it's the rarest card in the set, feels terrible to hit a Fable half the time. I don't mind the lighter souls. Some people will put those in decks, but there's a bunch of Fables in the game that aren't. Mistcloak Gully is probably one of them, although it's yet to be seen. You hit a Corsham, you hit Blood of the Drakai was terrible. Even though it clearly would have been cool, it obviously caters to some very aggressive playstyles. It's just, yeah. So I think they experimented with Deathmatch Arena, so they made it allegedly one of the rarest cards in the game. Coldfall only. So rarest means we thought Marvel Emperor was rare. 1 in 10,000 packs. Allegedly, Deathmatch Arena is rarer than that. So if that's the case, I think they experimented, hoping it would keep the price up. It did at the very start. Yeah, it didn't last. Warmonger's Diplomacy foil. Because people that play the game still don't want it. And that's a massive thing I think that needs to change. Again, I'm very aware that it's not an easy thing to fix, because you can't have every set bring in something as powerful as like Eye of Ophidia. Because then you got to balance everything in the future around that power. So I get it, but my opinion or suggestion would be they should go back and maybe stick to what they did with the CNC. So just do a Marvel Alt Art E-Strike, Cold Full Art. Do Warmonger's Diplomacy, do Art of War. Although they did put that in a Judge pack. A Cold Foil Alt Art of War would have gone hard, you know? And you don't have to stop making, like, you could release a Command and Conquer. Not that I would suggest they should, but they could do different variations of the same card. Again, they probably won't because it's against their reprint policy, but I would rather see another Fable CNC with like completely blue art style than see a Fable come out and go down to $30 again. Like, I'll give you an example. The Alt Art Enigma and the Enigma New Moon could have easily been Fables and people would have been happy. Like, if you could get the anime style art in any box as the Fable, people would have been happy. And you're not breaking anything in the game. Like, all you're doing is giving people something very cool that will probably have a lot of financial value. But I'm surprised they've never done that with equipment. There's a full art tunic, for instance. But full arts have been done. Imagine if you had Traverse, and then you had a ninja version of Traverse. Like, you know what I mean? Ninja themed Traverse. Knowing that Zen's gonna play it. And that was the Fable. What would that card be worth? Full art, Alt Art, Cold Full Traverse. That was 1 in 100 boxes. Worth a lot of money. You get what I'm saying. There's plenty of design space to make Fables very sought after without breaking the game or causing like too much balancing issues for your dev team to deal with. Hey, foil poison well. I know why I grabbed. That's why I grabbed 2 sleeves. They are glued together. I think they can afford to make Fables marginally more strong, more powerful than they are. I think Valahai was really cool design. It effectively pitches for 4. Although I still don't think it sees a lot of play. It's on paper, you'd think it's really good, right? I mean, Library had its moments. Like, don't you want to see a World's Finals match with a landmark Fable out? I would. Or just make a blanket deck building rule that decks can only have one Fable in them, like change the Fable keyword, make an errata that says means one of this type of card per deck, and then release a whole bunch of strong Fables, and people have to decide what they put in. You know what I mean? You can have one of them, but you can only have one of them. So if you have Eye, you can't have Heart. If you have Heart, you can't have Blood of Drakai. You can't have Plague Hive, etc. And that could be cool all on its own for flavor, you know? Because you only equip one gem. And right there is another idea for Fables, is make them an equipment slot, like an earring, you know? Like a gem slot that you can equip. Oh, you found them, Raymond? Yeah, how sick are they? Raymond's talking about the 10 signed artist proofs that they made that are in this set. Don't worry, Ben. I don't actually want them to make another Marvel CNC. I'm just saying I would prefer that over Fables that go down to $50. Like that's all I'm saying. Because it's still such, like, it shouldn't feel bad when you hit a Fable, or like it shouldn't be like, ah, you know, like you watch people open gold foils and they hit a Quiver gold foil, and you feel so bad for that player, which is weird, right? Because it's still like a few $100s, but it could have been a few $1,000s. That's why, you know what I mean? Like that should be actively removed at that level. Gold foil shouldn't feel bad, and neither should Fables. And I know there's logic in like it only feels good because it could feel bad. Like things are only great hits because there's the potential of a bad hit. But the point is, if it's like 1 in 100 boxes, it should always feel good. That's all I'm trying to say. And if you have to win or top 8 a major event, it should feel good. There should not be, like, I understand maybe at ProQuest and RTN level, the gold foil can potentially be bad, but holy crap, seeing someone get a Quiver is like, yeah, I don't know. I know, by the way, I'm sure some ranger out there is going, what are you talking about? I wish I could get the Quiver in gold foil for my Azalea. It's like, yeah, but. Also, it's why people tend to sell them sealed. Ben, yeah, look, I get there's also some emotional maturity to it. Like, yeah, Jacob definitely wants the Quiver. But Jacob, like, you would still prefer to get a Mask of Momentum and sell it and buy yourself 10 Quivers, you know? You would. Don't tell me you wouldn't. And I'm sure you'd probably not want to see a gold foil trench because it's not even extended on. It's a weird thing. It's weird. I also, again, I don't know the solution. Fable shouldn't feel bad. That's all I was trying to say on my rant. Also, guys, look, I'm stuck here for 3 hours opening packs, talking to a screen. Ranting makes the time pass. like these, like Cold Falls used to feel good, right? WTR Arcane, because there was more of like a collectible market for them, I think, and they held value. But Toa Monarch had a little bit of value, and then Toa was like, I remember I was in the game by then, and I remember the Cold Falls started at like $50, and I think they were $2 within like weeks. I feel like if you have that, then you need to like pull the rarity lever again. Maybe not have common Cold Falls in boxes anymore, because it was such a cool thing. They're the only game that did Cold Falls at the time. I think Pokemon and Magic, I think Magic called them etch foil, and Pokemon have like a, this has got to go aside for Matthew. I think they have like an etched foil, which is like cold foiling. But by the way, I've been ranting for a bit. Fab is amazing to open. The last few sets, ever since Uprising, and then I'd say Uprising, Heavy Hitters, and now Mistveil, they're insane to open. Like, they're so fun. So don't get me wrong, I'm not. If I had to give Flesh and Blood rarity and opening experience, and I would give them an 8 out of 10. I'm talking about the things that would make it perfect. Would be that Fables don't feel bad. That would make Flesh and Blood the perfect product to open. How do we compare this? Someone tell me about like Pokemon or Dragon Ball, because that's how those games work, right? When you hit like the SSSR or whatever, super duper rare, hidden rare, secret rare, ghost rare, whatever you hit in those sets, it's more money than the tier under it, correct? Nearly always, like the rarer it is, it's 100% worth more. And I understand it might be collector driven, not game driven, but if you're conscious that your game is a player based market, you should really lean into that and make sure the super duper rarity, which is Fables, should be always a multiplier of the nearest legendary that you could pull, which is what I would do. I would just make alt art legendaries. Like, we already know people want legendary equipment. Basically, the game economy works off those. Great. Make alt art legendaries. Alright, we are... Where are we? Oops, wrong pile. 12... This is box 14. Meaning there's 13 left, plus this box. Again, thanks for everyone for tuning in. I never really expect like 50 live viewers when I'm just doing this for 3 hours, but the company's appreciated. I do have the option of just opening these in front of the TV, but this is more fun. It does pass quicker. Maybe I'll stream when I'm sorting cards one day. Appreciate that, Baron. Ever gone to paper cuts? Yeah, I have one now. Let me find it. Do you see? Man, he's not gonna. Now, how did the makeup girls do it? You see at the tip of my finger there? That was off the tip of a box right there. And I was... so I finished, turned the stream off. I wanted to go to my jiu-jitsu class. So I'm packing up, and I grabbed the first box I grabbed, just nicked my finger right before I had to go. I know it's tiny, but grappling and trying to hold on to people when your fingers, like, every time you touch something it bleeds a little, it wasn't fun. It wasn't even pain, it was just, I mean, it did hurt, but it wasn't the pain, it's that it kept opening, because you do a lot with the tip of your finger, you know. There we go, it's a nice hit. Not quite the marvel we want, but we'll be about, I think we're only like a third of the way through these 500 boxes, so there's gonna be a whole bunch more streams. Don't you worry. And I mean, at bare minimum, we will always stream the new sets being opened. Aside from it being great for business and the shop and the channel, it's very fun to open the new set, like with an audience, and usually we have it a few days before you guys do, so everyone tunes in to watch and wish us luck, and then hope that they get as lucky or more lucky. It's very fun. So that's never going to change. It's one of the more enjoyable parts of running a single store, is the new set opening. Whether someone really needs to find me or build me a sorting machine so we can get through our bulk quicker, because that's the bane of our existence, is the bulk sorting. Very cool, Zajima. All you gotta hope for is that new wins Pro Tour, and then basically your Marvel doubles in price. That's how this works nowadays. Cold foil, rubbish. Dromai is a very cool YouTube ID, yes. Congrats. Hey, hey, it's a big hit. Is that a new YouTube ID or one you had? Hey, it's very cool, Jacob. You should get in touch with Mara, see if she'll pay you big money for it. Ah, nice. It's good thinking. Visceride. People are gonna get ideas now. Actually, remember someone had like an alt account that was called Dorinthabe. I know who it is. I don't know if you guys know who it is, but I always thought it was funny. You just had to get an LL'd hero though, didn't you, Jacob? Couldn't get one. Did you go try and get all the new hero names? I bet you have. Alright, 12 boxes left. I'm sure the sketch card is in here, by the way. Like, the chance of getting it from one box or one pack is exactly the same as opening 400 of them, right? So it's probably just in the last pack, waiting. We just have to make sure we open the last pack. That's it. It's just the pack opening gods want us to commit and persevere, and we'll be rewarded. And you guys will be here to watch. And you're gonna clip me saying this, and then watch this be the most anticlimactic stream as well. We're not gonna hit anything. Who knows? Equal chance of both. More chance of hitting nothing than... Yeah, 100%. It's a 50-50. You're right, you're right. It's not... What am I talking about? Statistically, it's a 50-50. Again, I'm happy with the Marvel Levia. I never hit one. I've never held one. It's not true. I think maybe we bought and sold one for the shop, but I remember it being elusive. And again, we're like 400 boxes deep on this set now. You would think one would turn up. Piles are getting very big. I'm gonna have to third rainbow for Fable. I mean, look, that's, let's just say it, that's pretty extraordinary for the amount of boxes we've done, right? Not bad. Not quite what we asked for, but again, those will very likely get sold because it does go in Prism and potentially Bolton, I think I've seen it in lists. The new Prism for sure plays yellows, right? Yeah. Another Runic Reckoning for our friend Matthew. I should just put the Murloc Hill in the rare pile, but last pack of this box is not a Marvel. Alright. Let me... These rares are like toppling, there's so many. Yeah, I did it again. I think I mixed piles accidentally. How do I keep doing that? Foils. Okay, I think I found it. Yep. Alright, we're good. I should have a better system than that. Hey Zoe. Yeah, CNC Marvel's huge. Huge hit. If you have hit one, that's as lucky as you ever need to get opening Flesh and Blood. Frailty spiking, is it? Is that because of new? Sure. I mean, Azalea's probably a... I mean, Azalea is good, and high rolling Azalea is unbeatable. I'm guessing if you read in the legend, Zen, you're probably not losing that match. But no, I haven't. I don't know how many like frailties, Codex of Frailties is what we're talking about. I don't think we've ever managed to keep any on the store for any length of time. Well, you can recur it in many ways. I don't know if Azalea still plays Memorial Grounds, but I remember getting looped by an Azalea player in Blitz. Foil Meeps. Yeah, even though we have a single store, we don't really like track individual card values. There's so much to deal with. A lot of it gets automated. What I notice is I notice more cards that don't sell, like Soul Food. I noticed that. Yeah. I think at one point we had 70, maybe more. Funnily enough, they all sold when Dusk Till Dawn got announced. Those speculators were wrong. It's still not seeing play. Very much on the home stretch. The shipment came in, actually. We have 7 cases of... So we already put that price up because we sold a bunch of them. Because I'd rather wait for the new set to come out and let people get their playsets if they need them than let one person buy like 50 and... But I don't think we have that many. We'll probably have a lot more now, but I think we only had like 10. Hey, diadem's nice. Hard to buy us out because we actually do cancel orders often. If you order more than 3 of anything. So we've opened nearly 100 boxes with 0 extended diadems, by the way. We've hit a bunch of carapaces though. So yeah, we cancel, or we will usually refund, like if you place an order for 50 items and you ordered 4 of one card, we'll just refund 1 of them. But yeah, we don't get bought out for that reason. That was something we started doing day 1. Just make sure everyone can get cards rather than letting like one person or a competitor. Usually it's competition, not even a player, trying to buy us out. Mind you, like this doesn't apply to cold foils and things. If you want to buy out every cold foil common we have or potion, like we don't care. Or rainbow foils, we don't care. It's just none foils. I should probably specify that. It's rainbow foil legendaries and it's none foil playables. Yeah, that's what we limit. So if you want to buy 10 cold full tunics from us, if we had them, you can have more. Because there's not a line of players trying to get their hands on them. Yeah, Baron, we get that. Sometimes people will message us. Like, we had a person... what did he do? He ordered 5... He ordered 5 Gorganian tomes. Right? And this was when Kasai came out. But he's a local, so we messaged him. And he's like, oh no, it's for my UPF play group. So that when people come to play, I give them a Gorganian tome and then we all have one. I'm like, okay, that's fair. We had a lot of 10s back from MST. There's a bunch on the website service, flugelbox.com. I think that some of them are on the front page. Most of them sold. Our Marvel Enigma New Moon sold. That was a 10. Yeah, no, I hear you guys, but if you try and buy 5 CNCs from us, I don't actually care if it's for your own decks. You're only getting 3. It just is what it is. Like, there's not enough for them to go around, so you'll have to source them elsewhere. So, I mean, if you want to buy any more than 3 of anything from us, that's like the lowest rarity of something, message us first. Maybe you're buying for a friend. Maybe you're building a deck for you and your partner. You know, we get it. It's just a rule we have. Most of the time, it's scalpers or speculators, and we just... I don't care that people do that or not. I just... Yeah. It's actually... So the real reasoning, Jacob, is not wholesome. I genuinely believe it makes us more money doing that. Because people... I mentioned I run a report every week. I don't want... So if I sell you all of our CNCs, the next 10 people that search for them comes up as 0 in stock. They may just click off the website and go to a competitor. Well, if I have CNCs in stock, they might order an entire deck for me. That's why we do it. There's like the benefit is that it's a good thing to do for the players, but the real reason is it's a business, and I think that's the better business decision. But that's a whole philosophical debate we can have as to whether I'm doing good and benefiting from it makes it not good. I'm being honest, like literally what I think works better for the business. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. That's what I think it is, Jacob. Yeah, it's like good for the players, good for us. Everyone wins. How's your shop going? By the way, when I say your shop, I don't know if you've ever publicly said it's your shop, but I figured you're working on it with Lachlan. Such cool cold foils. Man, this man's getting his place at a Runic Reckonings. I just wanted to, it's going great or not going great, but also feel free to shout it out in the chat. I don't mind, bud. I don't think a lot of people would know about your shop, so if you want to shout it out, just don't, you can't type the link in, it just won't work, but you can type in the name. Oh, okay, fair. I thought you'd helped and it was partially yours, but there you go. No worries. I was trying to do a good deed. I still do a good deed for Lachlan. The shop I'm thinking of, which I thought Jacob might be helping, is called Slingshot Collectibles, I think. Yeah, Slingshot Collectibles. So they're Australian based, and if you know, I like sometimes need cards myself that we don't have. That's one of the shops I'll check. It helps that they're local. Nearing the end of this box, and then there's 8 more. This what just hit? Marvel Levia and serialized sketch card in one box. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen here on Fluke and Box. I mean, where else would it happen, you know? First, no one's crazy enough to open Dust Till Dawn anymore. Second, I've said it out loud. It's gotta happen. Surely. Oh wow, if you guys could have seen how close that was to toppling. Right over there with all the boxes on it. Alright, here we go. I'm nothing but optimistic, Becca. You don't know me in person, do you? Oh no. Furthest thing from the truth. But I'm happy to pretend. Till I hit it. Class for Nats. I'm not playing Nats, unfortunately. If I was, I'd be on Enigma. And I would have some sort of funky brew of my own, but I didn't qualify. I said this before. I didn't qualify on XP because you can't anymore, which is how I made it to Nats every other year. And my Elo got absolutely 4th Light of Soul. If you don't believe me, there's 4. Rainbow Falls, all. Not complaining. Happy to see them. I think they are a good hit. They're basically another legendary. Yeah, I didn't get dropped from a calling that I tried to drop from, and my Elo never recovered, so I've been grinding my way back, but it definitely wasn't high enough to qualify. I mean, to give you an example, when I went into my gem, when my Elo was the lowest, and I don't know if you know how many players play Flesh and Blood in Australia, but I could probably name most of them myself. I was ranked 7,000 in Australia. No, that's not quite true, but I was ranked, because obviously everyone starts at 1,500. I was ranked way lower than how many players we have in the community, so yeah, I wasn't going to qualify. What would be an Elo to target? I don't know. Look, you just got to win more than you lose. I think that's the point. Just if you have on average won more than you've lost, you should be qualified, because it's not that big of a 2-1 every armory, or 3-1 ideally if it's a 4-rounder. is where you'd want to be. I think there might be some disadvantage to only playing the same shop and armory, because either your skill level is not there to 2-1, or if you keep beating the same people, I think it has diminishing returns. But look, I don't think it's that hard to make it on Elo. The main point would be not even armories, actually. Sorry. Why are we saying 2-1 armories? They don't give Elo. You need to 2-1 rated events. Go to your ProQuests and RTNs. Go to all of them and try and play the whole thing and win 65% of the time. I think that's enough metrics to get you in. Yeah, remember, there's not that many rated events. It's part of the problem. Like, I didn't play many ProQuests or RTNs either, which in previous years I would play them and I'd win enough XP at them to qualify, because there were 6 times XP. I don't even care if they bring XP back for that or not. It was just how I was qualifying. Overall, I'm a very average player. I think my win rate is exactly 60% or something, or 55. Like my rated event. It's just that one big event really hurt. It's like 6 rounds in a row lost that I wasn't there to play. Alright, this pack opened really easy. Is this the pack? Or this? No, it's not. It's just, no. Did you guys, who caught the Mist Veil stream? That I hosted on the official page. He was I'm trying to remember his name now. He was so funny. How he opened packs. The gold pack crack was crazy. I just wish Ian maybe toned it down from a 10 to a 9, but I mean, the moment was great. No one had ever seen that before. It was great to get it out. No, not with the gold. The owner of Tokyo Fab. His name skipped. It's hard to, yeah, I'm terrible with names. He wears a red hat all the time. Hey. No, he was like sushi, like that. And he was calling out different countries and anything to conjure the luck gods. It was so funny to watch. I could see why he's, I mean, he's a massive Magic the Gathering YouTuber. I think he's famous in that game. He has a couple of deck shuffling videos that have like 7 million views or something. Trying to remember his name. Soto? Saito? I can't remember. I'll have to look again. But he owns Tokyo Fab, but he's, I think, more known in the Magic scene. Saito. There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's who it is. That was Saito. He literally owns Tokyo Fab. He doesn't do MTG anymore? Fair. I mean, I've never ever met like a famous or good player in a game and then not heard like some stories about him. Everywhere. Sometimes it's the opposite. I think like maybe someone like Michael Hamilton, there's no like stories about him. You know what I mean? But a lot of these old Magic heads. Ah, I see. Yeah, but again, a very, very gracious guy. It was super fun to open at his shop. Like, it's really cool that they have a Fab focus store. I don't even know if that exists anywhere else in the world, right? Like, meaning a store that only exclusively does Fab, because that's what they are. And there's a photo on their socials with how many Mistval boxes they were opening, and I swear they had like 500 cases in that room. It's an insane photo, way more than I've seen. Like, I'm sure some of the American stores open more, like Star City and MinMax and Magnolia Gaming. Mongolia. I've been watching too much Marco Polo. But yeah, I like that. I mean, that's something I would aspire to do, but I just don't think it's feasible in Australia. I think I don't know if the community would actually rally behind it. We barely have an active scene in Sydney as it is to... But we'll see. I'm always brewing business ideas. I'll come up with something. Ideally, I would find like a dual income place, like a cafe attached to a store. Something like that is what I would love to see, where it's like a Fab focused LGS that's open like twice a week, and the rest of the time it's a play space with a cafe attached, and the cafe is what pays for it to be open, you know? Like, you may not get rich off a cafe, but it's generally cash flow positive as businesses go. Man, we've really been starved on Marvels, huh? Meaning, like, they were all at the start of the video. Yeah. But the levy is coming, so... Have I mentioned I hate seeing Dorinthia and light warrior cards? If I didn't, now you know. Another beckoning light foil. I mean, look, the foil on the sword looks sick. It really does. Too bad aesthetics don't make the card. Guys, I'm trying. I don't know what to say. Fluke's Cafe. To be fair, this is the first thing I'd change if I had an LGS is what it would be called. It might have like blah 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 and at the bottom home of Fluke and Box, but that's about it. Fluke and Beans. Fluke and Brew. To be honest, you could probably do a lot of things with just Fab. Like, that's all Fluke and Box was. This Fluke is my flesh and beans. I don't think that's going to go down very well. Although I don't mind me some pig flesh and beans, if I'm honest. What was I going to say? Yeah, Fluke's my online handle, like, has been since I was very young. Counter-Strike, Dota, World of Warcraft, all of it. And Fluke and Box was like a play on Fluke Unbox, because I was unboxing stuff. It wasn't like very, yeah, it was just a play on Flesh and Blood, really. Now I'm stuck with it. Every time I see Vance and Banshee, it looks like an illusionist card to me. Is that just me? I swear I saw Marvel then, and it really wasn't. Man, I'm hallucinating now. Another Funeral Moon foil for Matthew. The M, you mean the Marvel, right? Marvel Levia, right? It's guaranteed at this point. I was told it's just a numbers game. You open enough packs, you get the Marvel Levia. So, I mean, what's 450 boxes in packs? That's in the wrong pile. Oh, that's a foil. So confused. Slacker. I am trying. No one, especially you, backer, is opening the packs. So I'm the only one that can say I'm trying. Guarantee you guys aren't going to hit one. Whew. We're on the last case. Last 4 boxes. I shouldn't say case because the way they're stacked, they're not from the same case. Because it's like... actually, these can stay... yeah, they can stay for a bit. It's definitely over 10,000 pounds. Oh, you feel like you're opening it? I have like... I dislocated my shoulder a few months back and it's never quite felt right. This makes it hurt. The constant... it's like RSI. So I don't think you feel the way I feel right now. I can guarantee you don't. But I appreciate the moral support. It does help. Counts for something. Unlike the 9 of you who haven't even liked the video, at least Becca is here. Pushing me along. Egging me on, some would say. Whoever that was that just clicked the like button, I see you, thank you. 2 of you now. It's so generous. If I could see your names, I would shout you out, but I can't. I just see the number go up. It inflates my ego. Whew. I really should call you guys out more often. It's a lot of activity on the like button. Thank you. And Jacob's like, you haven't earned my like, bitch. You haven't earned it. No balls. Wow. I'm fucking trying. I told you guys it's in the last box. That's 3 boxes away. Look, I gotta hold the line. That's one, like 1/18 of a Marvel Levier or something. There's so many crappy cards in this set. Doesn't make sense. Like that. Like, what is this? When's that ever gonna go in a deck? Wait, you guys can't. I don't know why the camera doesn't focus sometimes. Like, when's that ever gonna go in a deck? It's not. Surely. Yeah, but like, why keep these cards in? I don't know what hold the lines are worth, but it's tens of dollars. Yeah, it's not a cheap card. It's like maybe even on par with Warmongers. Maybe even has overtaken it. It's so good against Art of War and Bloodrush Bellows. It's, yeah. I mean, it's also if you're gonna run Balance of Justice, which nearly everyone is, you should run that. That plus a Balance of Justice is huge against like a Bloodrush turn or an Art of War turn where you may just lose the game then, and having that extra value sometimes wins you the game. But this is the bottom right pack of this box. Nothing. Alright, fine. 3 more. It's not that good into Dory. Dory doesn't draw 2 cards often. And like, if Dory draws 2 cards of Supremacy, you're really doing something wrong. Like, it's probably too far gone, because the second hit, yeah. In Dory, maybe. I think it just, I don't know. It's in a lot of decks. It's definitely in Enigma. I imagine it's in New. We got a Marvel Figment. It's a cool one. At least it's not one of the ones we already pulled. Well, I think that's how Diadem, that's how New Moon plays. Is you play Diadem and Kimono face down, and you choose when to flip them. I think that's the strength of that hero, because you have some time to set up like D-reacts or whatever you need and make sure that they're not going to blow up when you flip them. That's the issue, starting with these out. Someone plays a Vinset, or like anyone plays unpreventable damage, and you just lose everything, all your armor, or 2 pieces of armor. But yeah, I imagine maybe the correct design for Diadem and Kimono would have been to have Cloaked on them, and maybe that's why Cloaked was designed in the first place, was these were printed and maybe they didn't quite work, so they went back to the drawing board. Imagine if they errated them and said they now say Cloaked. I think people would play them. I mean, even just to be able to flip them to block with their ward, a bit like how Meridian Footsteps, you can choose when to use the ward. It's very, very strong for that. I mean, they're probably are they the only 3-block equipment in the game, Meridian Footsteps? Although it's not technically block, they actually work against arcane damage as well, so it's technically better than block. You just have to find a chi. Sure, but that's a whole nother thing because Evo's like means you started with 0 block. But yes, you're right. Also, the problem with the Evos is they can't block over power cards, which is a whole nother. If you play Teklevossen, you can have 12 block in armor and someone just overpowers. And then you can't block. It's dumb. I hated it. Playing that set in limited. Are we talking about the one that blocks 5? The chain link's high enough? Even Becca's given up. Heirloom of Tiger Hide. What am I missing here? Have I even seen that? I can't even picture that card. That's bad. We're not talking about the Dynasty chess piece. Second last box. Potentially ever. Face down equipment. Oh, never mind. It's block 3. I don't know why I was thinking it's block 5. Yeah, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, but chess piece, like, chess piece is a nasty slot because it's probably the strongest slot in the game. Maybe Wizard, you'd argue the boots are, but for most classes, yeah, Blazing Yoroi is the one I was thinking about. But yeah, chess piece sacrificing it just for extra block value is crazy. Remember that Shadow Brute, well, Shadow Heroes in general have Husk, like it's a 6 block. There's conditions, but they can literally block for 6 with their chess piece. I guess another advantage Cloaked has that may be relevant more in the future is people can't T-bone them, you know? People can't force you to block with them when you don't want to block with them. There's a massive advantage there. I think there's plenty of games will get lost on T-bones or magnetic shockwaves. So Cloaked is very cool for that. Basically, the equipment's not in the game, so you can T-bone me all you like. I choose to flip it when your Command & Conquer comes in, which is much better than a lot of other equipment in the game. So I'm hoping, back to the topic, I'm hoping they print legendaries with Cloaked. I think it's a very cool concept. Even if it's just like stays with Illusionist for this Ward stuff, equipment with Ward makes a lot of sense to have Cloaked on it by default. Gives you some agency. A foil sensor. I don't think we've hit one yet. There you go. Not a bad hit. I've lost faith that we're going to hit anything, so we have, I don't know, 30 packs left. I mean, we haven't even hit a Coldfall Fable in the 96 boxes. So there's plenty that we can still see. Last shout out of the night, or plug I should say, flipperbox.com for singles. We'll be streaming on this channel Australian Nats, the Battle Hardened. Yeah, the Battle Hardened in Melbourne and the Calling in Sydney. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, we got a 5k giveaway coming in like 120 subscribers time. Cold Foil Iron Song Versus. So yeah, 5k subs, go comment on the video that tells you to comment for the 5,000 subs. It's like one of the main videos on the channel right now, and someone will get a whole alpha box opened and the contents sent to them. Alright, enough messing around. Last box. Potentially ever of DTD, so it better be a fucking good one. Surely. Look at the serial number. It's a lucky one, right? It's not a serial number. It's just the batch date. If you weren't aware what those numbers are, they are literally the date this was printed. Whoops. Throwing cards around. Imagine that's the Marvel in there. It's the date that this was printed. So if you like open an error box or something, that's the number to like. It's a good thing to have that number to show it. LSS. Why Workday Slacker? Because I don't have access to more, and 500-ish of these boxes opened for the store already. I think that's enough. We maybe there's a reason in the future to open more, but this is a terrible set for EV. It has its ups and downs. I'm sure it'll skyrocket when the new set comes out. But like dead card, right? There's so much dead cards in this set. It's ridiculous. I don't have a list, but some very good cards and some very bad cards, and more bad than good. Ooh, that paper cut I was talking about. I just pinched it. We're not bleeding. We're fine. But also we bought out a local store's stock, so that's why we have this. If an opportunity comes up with a bunch of Dust Till Dawn, I won't say no, but I just wouldn't go out of my way. No, we don't hold on to the bulk for this. I don't know if you've noticed, I've been throwing it out. I keep the rares and foils. Enough for them to fill a couple of big storage boxes and sort them, but I don't actually... Can you think of any commons in this set that are highly sought after? Because there's no generics. There's no reprints, and it's mostly... Like, when I say chaff, sure, maybe every Levia wants 9 or something. But, like, commons are easy to get. And to be fair, you only have to open 3 or 4 boxes of any set to get common playsets. Yeah, on average. And you can probably trade with your friends to get whatever couple you missed, but... I think a lot of the hype for this set were the serialized cards and like the Return of Prism, and both landed a little flat, and the set has the building blocks for and a lot of buffs for the 4 heroes. Levia, Prism, Chain, well, Vincent, not Chain anymore, and Bolton, but they're very low represented. The blue Majestics are very good in this. I mean, there's hidden value, there's like value in like these extended art heralds, but again, you need to find Prism players that didn't already bling their deck out with the full art Rainbow Foil ones. But yeah, we have a bunch of commons for this set already from the original massive opening we did. Alright, we're definitely at the last few packs. There's like... I have 3 packs left. Wish me luck. This has no Marvel in it, I can tell straight away. And it has an unplayable Majestic. When I say unplayable, I don't mean that. I just mean... no one buys it. This is the bottom left pack. This is the last pack. I'm not even looking. I looked. It doesn't have a Marvel. We didn't get it. Told you to be anticlimactic. But then if I got the Marvel, I would have told you that I said so. So that's the whole trick. I feel about Crucible is terrible. Crucible is horrible to open. Again, Crew has great, good Majestics, but it has a bunch that are unplayable. When I say unplayable, aren't played, I should say. What's the main one? Like Unified Decree. No one fucking... Oh, hey. Broad Game Reviews. Thanks for buying off us. Appreciate you. Did you want anything good? I think we did okay. This is not a terrible result for the opening. Just didn't hit the really big hits. But they're lottery hits anyway, so... what did we do? 5 marvels? That's great. Unified Decree's going up. I think people, like, plenty of people wait. It's not like a spec buy, but it's like they want 3 of every Warrior Majestic just in case. I do that. I have 3 of every Warrior Majestic lying around. So it's not a bad thing, and I think that's what happens. Is people like wait, and then the first ed ones are like cheap, so they buy them, and that's perfectly. Also, I don't think Unified Decree is a bad card. I think it just costs 1 resource too much, but that can be very much nullified now with Grains. I haven't thought of that actually, but Grains really helps. It's much more. You tend to get a Grains resource floating more often than you would with a Tunic, and that would be the extra resource to pay for something like Unified. So maybe it's not a bad yeah. Maybe it's not a terrible thing. There's the playmat for those of you who asked. Actually, you guys have a weird angle on this. Trying to get all the heroes in. Aha. There you go. It's the staff playmat. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. It's like 11 PM for me. I need to tidy up and get some sleep. But these singles will be up for sale tomorrow, more than likely. But there's already a bunch of DTD. If you're missing any, go grab it. Thanks for tuning in. Becca, don't ever buy a lottery ticket, my friend. Alright, good night guys.